Hi everyone, welcome back to What Anna Makes. So yesterday I made a video on how to make a homemade DIY face mask. We did these villains and I spent all day doing it, editing it, and then when I was finished, I turned on the news and I saw that Deaconess Health System was actually asking seamstress or anyone with a sewing machine, anyone who had any know-how, to please make face masks because the health system is critically low and they were accepting, all of the donations for face masks. So I went onto their Facebook page, I checked out their video so I could see exactly what they wanted. This is the one that I made with the pattern that they provided. It's really simple. It's a little rectangle, 9x6. You need 2 pieces of fabric and you sew them together with the 2 pieces of elastic. You can make them to donate, or you can make them for personal use, or you can make them to sell them, but I'm gonna show you how to do it. This is what you're going to need to make the face masks. All right, so you're going to take your fabric pieces, you're going to place them right sides facing together. You're going to start sewing about halfway through the 9-inch side. Once you get to the corner, you're going to take one of the pieces of elastic and you're going to put it diagonal. So it's going to go diagonally. Be careful to push it back enough so that you don't accidentally sew over it. Well, you're going to want to sew over the corner, but you don't want to sew over the other areas. So place that in there, sew the edge, and you're going to want to sew over it back and forth a couple of times just to hold it in place. And then keep your needle down, and then you just pivot the fabric and start sewing the 6-inch side. Again, make sure that that elastic piece is out of the way, so when you're sewing the 6-inch side, you don't accidentally sew the elastic in an area it's not supposed to be sewn into. Once you get to the corner, you put it diagonal again, and then you sew back and forth, lock it in place, and then you just put the needle down, and then you pivot once more. You sew all the way through the next 9-inch side, and then you do it all over again. You get another piece of elastic, put it in diagonally, make sure it's in far enough so that it doesn't get caught while you're sewing the rest of the seam. You go back and forth. This is super simple, and I'm just kind of going over it quickly. If you have any other questions, you can always leave them in the comments and I can let you know. In case you were wondering, the elastic that I used, it was 1/4 inch elastic. I've heard some people using 1/8. I had 1/4, and that was the smallest I had, and I thought it was pretty comfortable with that size, so that's what I used. And the inseam on this is about 1/4 to 3/8, whatever you feel comfortable with. So when you get here, make sure that you don't sew it all the way closed. You want to leave a little opening like that so that you could pull it through. So once you turn it right side out, you can see that the elastic is coming through each corner right there. I accidentally sewed a line across a top stitch over the long side of it first before I pinned it, so that's why you see that there. But you're going to make 3 pins, and so you kind of just tuck it in. And then I used clips, and I realized that this was probably a more difficult way to do it because it was harder to sew afterwards. So I would use pins, and maybe even instead of pinning on the side, I would pin them in the middle to hold the tucks in. But you do 3 tucks, you pinch it and kind of pull it over 3 times. There's how I did the last one. So then you're gonna have three little pins, 3 little tucks, and then you take it to your sewing machine and then you sew the edges. You want to make sure that it stays tucked in, and that's why I was suggesting using pins later rather than the clips, because it really was a little difficult to maneuver around those pins, or the clips. So you do it on both sides and sew the tucks in place, and then you top stitch around the whole thing. Now they had recommended going around the whole thing twice, and instead what I did was just go around the whole thing once, and then where the corners are, I did a zigzag stitch. So this is me going around the whole thing once, and then I just went on the corners. They're not there yet, but I'm going to do a zigzag stitch next. And I did that on all 4 corners, and that just helps to reinforce the elastic so it doesn't snap off or anything. And when you sew on elastic, it's always better, because it's stretchy, to use a zigzag stitch because that helps with the stretch of the elastic. So that's basically it. We're all done. I know I was talking really fast in this video, but I was just trying to throw something together quickly so that if you wanted to help out, you could do that and start making the masks. All right, thank you guys so much for watching, and make sure you subscribe to my channel if you want to see more fun and exciting how-to videos. I'll see you next time.